Hello and welcome to the Pen Man. As you might remember, if you've been on the channel for long, 6 months ago I started this experiment with eyedroppering a metal fountain pen. And what I did back then was to fill the body of this pen with, this is a Jinhao X750, and I filled the body of this pen with Noodler's Red Black, and so highly, very saturated red black ink. And so if we're going to have problems, then that would be a good ink to initiate those problems, I felt. So this is 6 months later, and that's what the time frame that I said I was going to do, and I will probably do maybe a year later, but I'm going to do something, one different aspect of this. All right, opening this pen up. First of all, there was no leakage around the bottom here, so that's the X50, and as I stated before, if you're going to do an eyedroppering, it's always good to test, even if you have a plastic pen, if it's not a constant piece, if there's any seams, you're going to want to water test it first, make sure that there's no seams. All right, a couple things that I did, as you would want to do when doing an experiment like this, is to put silicone grease around your threads. Not just an experiment, but anytime you're going to eyedrop or a fountain pen, you're going to put silicone grease around your threads, and also get an O-ring in there to help seal that up. So but one of the things I did find was, as far as leakage, and I don't know if that's where this is coming from or from when I took that off, but all right, so you see where the chrome end of the grip section comes to the base of the fountain pen. See that little rise there, the black, and that's the insert in there. Now I tried to unscrew it, but was not able to. So some of these pins you can unscrew it, some you can't. It's just one piece. So I think this is just one piece, unless I'm just not giving it enough torque to get it off, but I didn't want to risk breaking it. So I think what I'm going to do on the second round of this experiment, around the side there in the interior, where there might be a seam that would allow flow down through there, through the grip section, I might put some, I'm going to put some silicone grease in there, so that we'll see if that happens. But it wasn't much. But there were times, if the pen sat for long enough, that it would, you could see just a little bit of leakage. You notice it when you go to pick it up and write with it. So let's see. I filled up the pen, and I only lost a little bit of ink one time. Oftentimes I have nib down, and so I think I had this, I'll tighten it up there, I think I had it like this, and I started taking it off, and I got a little blop of ink down below. In fact, do I have it on here somewhere? Here's the blop that I did, right there. Okay, so I was taking it apart, and bloop. And then I was able to soak it up. But anyway, just thought I'd throw that in there. Okay, so I'm going to take this apart again and show you how much ink is in there. I did fill up the body, and so we will drop the ink in there. So there's still a decent amount of ink. Now I haven't been writing with this constantly, because I've been wanting to do some other reviews, pen reviews and so forth, which there's one of the next ones sitting in the back there, Jinhao 88. So anyway, but that's how much ink is still in there. So obviously it hasn't been leaking out. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go rinse this out, and we're going to try to look down inside there and see. All right, so I went and got some water and flushed this out as best I could, and there was still a little bit of ink kind of pulled up down at the bottom there, but anyway, so there had been just a tad bit more in there, and then I dried it out. So let's see if I can get you a good look down in there. I wish I had one of those little scope lights. Okay, so let's see. This is probably going to be blurry, but it gives you a little bit of a look down in there. If I can get the light and see right there. Now I didn't detect any deterioration even way down at the bottom there. Hopefully, let's see. Okay, that looks like it's getting pretty focused in. A little blur there, but yeah, I didn't detect any deterioration. And again, if it would have deteriorated, it would have had some leakage out of this bottom seam here, and there was none of that. So, are you ready? What I'm going to do is I'm going to fill it back up, and I am going to go for another 6 months. How about that? And we'll see what happens. I'm going to, again, on the grip section, I'm going to put some silicone on the inside, just a little bit around the rim there. I'm gonna clean this out as well, and then we'll go for another year. So whatever might have been deterioration in there, I don't know. Not another 6 months. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I was kind of pleased. So for 6 months. So far, if you wanted to, this is just my opinion, disclaimer, I'm not telling you to do it, I'm not saying it will never hurt any pen, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, but from what I found, I would not hesitate as long as I didn't find any leakage with the water test. I would not hesitate to eyedropper a fountain pen. One thing I want to do is maybe I'm gonna put a drop of this on a piece of paper and a drop of fresh ink on a piece of paper. Let's see if it darkened that up. How about that? How about we check that out? Alrighty, so we have what's been in the pen right here, and then this is going to be the fresh sample. So let me just get a little bit of a drop there. And I'll wash this down a little bit. Okay. All right, and let's put some fresh ink down, a little drop, spread that out. Alrighty, I'm not seeing any difference there. Let's see if we can get a little different angles. Yeah, it looks about the same. Alrighty, so we have everything inked up or greased up. Does that help? That helps. Alrighty, got that. I greased up the inside of the grip, along with the other parts there. I flushed out the nib just to kind of get a fresh start. All right, we are ready to go for the next 6 months of eyedropping a metal fountain pen. That'll be a year, probably just a tad bit over, because this is a tad bit over 6 months. All right, so we'll see you in 6 months. Have a great day.